This is Goku's son, DBZ, and today I thought, of course, I'll be doing the top 12 list for the top 12 Batman villains. And yes, I will also be recognizing villains from the Batman Beyond universe as well. And before I get this vlog started, I want to say that personally I feel Batman is probably one of the top tier, most overrated superheroes of all time in a comic book franchise universe. Just wanted to be honest. Anyways, this will be based on opinions from that I've gathered here on YouTube, as well as Facebook, Twitter, and so on. But, of course, as always, leave a comment below. Tell me who your favorite Batman villains are of all time. And give me ideas for future vlogs. But here is Top 12 Batman Villains. Coming in at number 12, Killer Croc. Which I can honestly say I do not know too much about, since I never have been one of the biggest Batman fans. Other than the 90s Batman animated series. But with Batman, I'm more of a fan of the Batman Beyond universe, more so than the regular Batman universe. But that's my personal opinion, which doesn't really have anything to do with this list, obviously. But, coming in at number 11, from the Batman Beyond universe, Spellbinder. Now, for those of you who may not know much about the Batman Beyond universe, Spellbinder is sort of like your Batman equivalent to like Mysterio. But at the same time, unlike Mysterio, the guy who was in Mysterio, which was more of a stuntman and stuff, worked on movies, Spellbinder, true identity, was actually a school, like, psychologist. So he understood the inner workings of people, and he took advantage, learning the inner workings and stuff, and how to create holograms and stuff, so he could take advantage of, like, kids from, like, wealthy individuals and stuff, and be able to trick them into, like, throwing stuff over, and then taking, like, jewels, money, obviously, things like this. But Spellbinder is one of the more underrated villains, but a very interesting one, nevertheless. So in a lot of ways, he's much more dangerous than Mysterio, because not only could he do holograms and stuff, he actually understands the inner workings of a human mind. Because of, had got his education in the field of psychology. Made him much more dangerous. Coming in at number 10, the Scarecrow. Which, there's not too much I can say. Probably my favorite portrayal of the Scarecrow was Batman Begins. To be fair, that's how I just liked the take on Scarecrow the best. Coming in at number 9, Bane. Which, well, of course, was very bad in the Batman and Robin movie, because they made Bane into a mindless brute. On the other hand, Bane in the movie, which I still call in Dark Knight Rises, I call him Robotic Sean Connery. Because, let's face it, that's what he sounds like. It sounds like Sean Connery with, like, one of those robotic mask voice things on. That's basically what he sounds like. Coming in at number 8, Poison Ivy. Now, personally, I really don't have much of an opinion on Poison Ivy. Never was the biggest fan of her. But that's just me. But obviously, given she made it to number 8, obviously there's a lot of people who like Poison Ivy. Coming in at number 7, Edward Nygma, the Riddler. And of normal Batman villains, to be fair, I think Edward Nygma is probably one of the ones I much prefer. Now, I'm kind of 50-50 with the Jim Carrey, Edward Nygma Riddler from Batman Forever. I didn't mind it, really. Him as a Riddler was the only thing I could stand, frankly, on the Batman Forever. I could not stand the way they portrayed Two-Face in that movie. It was just dreadful and awful, to be honest. Coming in at number 6, Blight. And for those of you who do not read Batman, have not read Batman Beyond, Blight basically was the top tier villain of the Batman Beyond world. I guess you could say Blight was sort of like, even though he was more evil, and of course his alter ego, his other side is of course Powers, which takes over eventually Wayne Enterprises and merges his company, and which calls it, Wayne Powers or something like that, I forget. It's been a little while since I've read any of the Batman Beyond comics, which I need to do. But Blight is an interesting individual. He can, when you turn off light and stuff, you see like a green skeleton of him instead, from radioactive materials and stuff that ended up getting into his body and stuff and mutated him. And he can also create like balls of radioactive material, which you learn in the animated series and stuff. It shows like him like basically take out Mr. Freeze like he was nothing. And incidentally, coming in at number 5, Mr. Freeze. That's why I said interesting. Because, yes, Mr. Freeze, though, let's just say, let's think about the animated portrayal of Mr. Freeze, and let's just not think about the Arnold Schwarzenegger version of Mr. Freeze. I mean, talk about some bad puns, like, the Iceman cometh, or time to kick some ice, or, okay everyone, chill. I mean, seriously, those are some pretty bad pun one-liners. I mean, I know Arnold's the king of one-liners, but let's be honest here. He's not... him as Mr. Freeze, but as bad as he was, to be fair, the live-action interpretation of Poison Ivy and Bane was even worse, and made him look a lot better, to be fair. And trust me, when I say Batman and Robin is the worst Batman movie, I think one of my friends said best, though. It's so bad, it's good. Like, it's so bad, it's like funny. But for those hardcore Batman fans, are going to treat it like it's the most evil thing ever in existence. But not being the biggest Batman fan and stuff, I mean, I do understand. Joe Schumacher made a really bad movie. Let's be honest. It was a pretty bad movie. I mean, the whole bat butt, bat nipple crap, and the bad storyline. It was just so bad. Anyways, coming in at number 4, The Penguin. Which, by the way, is getting a really awesome interpretation in the TV series Gotham. Really, really good TV series. I highly recommend. If you haven't watched on Fox, I recommend you check out Gotham. It's basically the origin story for Bruce Wayne, as well as, but it revolves more around, of course, Detective Gordon, which of course we know in the future as Police Commissioner Gordon. But right now it's Detective Gordon, and we have rising up like the Penguin. And we see individuals like Edward Nygma, who works in the police station and stuff, which of course we know eventually will become, obviously, the Riddler. And we have many other individuals like a kid, which will eventually become, obviously, the Joker. A kid who will become the Scarecrow. We've seen the lawyer, Harvey Dent. So, yeah, we're seeing the origin story of a lot of characters. But it's really good. I actually have to say, I probably, of all comic book, like, universe shows right now, I would probably put Gotham up there with Arrow, frankly, on being highly recommending. I probably highly recommend Arrow mainly because of Season 2 with Deathstroke. And that's about the main reason. But coming in at number 3, Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, which, as I mentioned in the Batman Forever movie, Harvey Dent was really, really bad, okay? Just bad. And, however, I will say this, the Two-Face we got in The Dark Knight was actually pretty cool and awesome. And it sucked he wasn't around very long. But I loved who they had portraying the part of Harvey Dent Two-Face. That was a really good casting choice, and I very much enjoyed his part. Personally, with The Dark Knight, I would have liked to have seen more Harvey Dent. I understand that people did the Heath Ledger Joker because Joker is the most well-known, but don't kill me, fanboys out there. I think Joker is the most overrated villain in the entire Batman universe. That's just my opinion. Coming in at number 2, Ra's al Ghul, which, of course, had a really incredible portrayal by Liam Neeson in, of course, Batman Begins, which, to be fair, of the Dark Knight trilogy, Batman Begins is my favorite of the trilogy. I will say, personally, I like that one the most, mainly because of Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson, without doubt, is probably one of my top 12 or whatever top favorite actors of all time. There really only is a handful of actors I would put, personally for me, in the same category as Liam Neeson. There aren't too many others. Liam Neeson is epic. I actually enjoyed him as Qui-Gon Jinn in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I loved him as the voice of Aslan in the Chronicles of Narnia movies. And I also very much enjoyed Liam Neeson as Zeus in Clash of Titans remake and Wrath of the Titans. But, hey, and of course, Taken, obviously. Here's some honorable mentions. From Batman Beyond, Shriek, King Cobra, The Royal Flush Gang. Now, normal Batman. Catwoman, when she was a villain. Clayface, Harley Quinn. Sorry, Harley Quinn didn't make it on the top 12, but hey, it was some pretty big competition, to be fair. Now, coming in at number 1, the most overrated villain in all of Batman, and one of the most overrated comic book villains ever created, the Joker. Yes, the Joker comes in at number 1. Obviously, I'm not happy because, as I've said, I think Joker is the most overrated Batman villain ever, though I understand he is to Batman like, how shall I put this? Joker to Batman is like Venom to Spider-Man, or Kingpin to Daredevil, if you will. or the Mandarin to Iron Man, so on and so forth, Lex Luthor to Superman. You get the point. But, as I said, that's only my opinion, but obviously Joker made it to #1 slot because he has the fandom behind him. But as always, if you like this video, please thumb up, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, which of course, twitter.com/GokuSunDBZ. Leave me a comment, give me ideas for future top 12 lists, and I'll be announcing next week's top 12 list will be the top 12 worst superhero movies. So stay tuned for some movie bashing next Sunday. But as always, GokuSunDBZ signing out, and I'll see you next Sunday for a top 12 Sunday.